Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is in court for the first time to give evidence in his corruption trial. Netanyahu faces charges of fraud, breach of trust and accepting bribes dating back to 2019. Prosecutors say the Prime Minister granted favours to media organisations in return for favourable press coverage and advanced the personal interests of a billionaire Hollywood producer in exchange for lavish gifts. He denies any wrongdoing and has pleaded not guilty. In case number 1000, Netanyahu and his wife are accused of accepting gifts worth more than $190,000 from two businessmen in return for political favours. In case 2000, Netanyahu is accused of making a deal with an Israeli newspaper for favourable coverage in exchange for introducing legislation to weaken its competitor. In case 4000, it involves allegations Netanyahu influenced regulations to benefit Israel's largest telecom company in return for positive coverage of him on a news website controlled by its former chairman. Well, for the latest, we're going to speak to Nour Odeh. She joins us live from the Jordanian capital because Israel has banned Al Jazeera from reporting in Israel as well as the occupied West Bank. Nour, Netanyahu and his legal team have fought for months and months to stop this day from arriving. So how significant is it?
Well, it's significant because it comes after 5 years after the indictment. It's also very telling about how polarized Israeli society is. Up until 12 hours before this hearing, Israeli ministers were trying to tell the court or ask the court to postpone indefinitely these hearings because, according to them, the Israeli Prime Minister was engaged on many different fronts in this war that began 14 months ago. So not just the genocide in Gaza, but there's still ongoing action in Lebanon and now in Syria and other fronts. There's a lot of incitement in right-wing circles against the judiciary, and this is a long-standing problem, especially in the past 2 years, with what many activists in Israel call the judicial coup that Netanyahu and his coalition were trying to bring about. And so now you see Netanyahu's son, some very prominent right-wing ministers in the court, supporters outside the court as well, trying to show support for Netanyahu, while the rest of the Israeli public that has pretty much lost trust in Netanyahu wants to see this trial through, and they want to see Netanyahu held accountable. It all weaves in, even with allegations about the war and Netanyahu's role in letting down Israelis, not just on October 7th, but on all the other occasions since then. So it is a trial to watch, but certainly it will take weeks before the testimony concludes.
OK, thank you so much for that. That's Nour Odeh for us in Amman.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.